Sri Gurubhyo Nama children, welcome to online project Ekalaiva. Already we are discussing about the manufacturing industries. In the last class, we have discussed about the agro-based industries. That is the industries that get raw materials from agriculture like cotton textile industry, jute industry and sugar industry. All these industries we have seen in detail in the last class. Today I am going to start with mineral-based industries. So we are going to talk about mineral-based industries today. What are mineral-based industries? Industries that uses minerals as raw materials for the finished products, we can call it as mineral-based industries. Industries that use minerals and metals as raw materials to complete into finished products, we can call it as mineral-based industry. So today we are going to discuss in detail about the mineral based industry. So in mineral based industry we are going to talk about iron and steel industry, aluminum smelting. So these two we are going to talk about under the mineral based industries, and we are going to talk about the distribution of these iron and steel industries and aluminum industries, and what are the challenges faced by these industries. All these we are going to see in detail. Are you ready, children? I am going inside the lesson now. So we are going to discuss about the mineral based industries. To start with, listen, we are going to talk about iron and steel industry, aluminum smelting, chemical industry, fertilizer industry, cement industries, automobile industries, information technology and electronic industries. So today we are going to discuss about these industries in detail. So to start with, I am going to deal with mineral based industries. That is, the first one we are going to talk about iron and steel industry and aluminum smelting. Iron and steel industry and aluminum smelting, we are going to, it is coming under mineral based industries. They are coming under mineral based industries. And apart from these two industries, we are going to talk about chemical industries, fertilizer industries, cement industries, automobile industries, information technology and electronic industries. Are you ready, children? We are going to talk about iron and steel industry now. So this is the, slide that talks about iron and steel industry. So we are going to talk about the distribution of iron and steel industry. This industry is called as basic industry. So this iron and steel industry, we can call it as basic industry because it provides the basic raw materials to other industries. So the iron and steel industry is called as basic industry because it provides raw materials to many other industries such as machines and tools, transport equipments and construction material. So they will be asking this as a 3-mark question. Why iron and steel industry is a basic industry? Why it is a basic industry? Why it is a key industry? Because this iron and steel industry, it provides raw materials to other industries. It provides machines and tools to other industries. It provides materials for constructional activities. It provides materials for the transportation. That's why iron and steel industry is the basic industry. So they will be asking us a 3-mark question. Why iron and steel industries are basic industries or key industries? Iron and steel industries provide raw materials to other industries. For example, iron and steel industries provide machines and tools for other industries. It provides materials for construction activities and it provides materials for transportation also. That's why iron and steel industries are called basic industries, and it is also called as heavy industry. Iron and steel industry we can otherwise called as heavy industry. Why it is heavy industry? Because raw materials that we are using in this industry are bulky. So the raw materials are bulky as well as the finished product is also bulky. So the raw material, that is iron ore. So iron ore is a bulky raw material, that is heavy weight, which has got heavy weight. Similarly, the product that is obtained from the, what is that raw material, that is iron bar, iron tool, iron frame, all these are also bulky in nature, heavy in nature. That's why iron and steel industries are otherwise called as heavy industries. So I have discussed 3 more questions today. So what is the first question? Why iron and steel industry is a basic industry or key industry? What is the answer? You have to start from the question. Iron and steel industry is the basic industry or key industry because it provides raw materials to other industries. For example, it provides machines and tools for other industries, materials for construction activities, and materials for transportation also. That's why iron and steel industry is a basic industry or key industry. Another question we have discussed. What is another question? Iron and steel industry is otherwise called as heavy industry. Why it is called as heavy industry? Because the raw materials, iron ore that we are using here, and the completed product, that is iron bar, iron tool or iron frame, whatever it is. So both the raw materials and the finished products are bulky here. They are heavy weight. That's why we can call these industries as heavy industries. And apart from iron ore, what are the raw materials, other raw materials we require here? Coal, limestone, etc. So apart from iron ore, we are using coal, limestone also in iron and steel industry. And most of the steel plants, when you see, it is located in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region. So towards the eastern side, the plateau which is situated towards the eastern side of India, we can call it as Chota Nagpur Plateau. We are going to see why this Chota Nagpur Plateau region has maximum reserves of iron and steel. Why iron and steel industries are located in Chota Nagpur Plateau region? There are so many reasons for its location. The next one we are going to see, this iron and steel industry, there are so many challenges. This iron and steel industry, they are facing so many problems. Let us see what are the problems faced by the iron and steel industry. What are the challenges faced by iron and steel industry? What is the first challenge? High cost of production. So when you talk about the production cost, it is greater. So high cost of production, this is the first drawback faced by the iron and steel industry. So what is the first challenge? High cost of production. So cost of production is higher. First one. Second one, limited availability of coking coal. Already I told you. Along with iron ore, we need limestone and coal also in iron and steel industry for coking purposes. Is that? So we need coal. So limited availability of coking coal. So coking coal availability is very limited. That is also one of the challenge. The next one is low productivity of labor. Output per labor is very less. The productivity by the labor is very less. So this is again another challenge. So what is the first challenge? Cost of production is greater. What is the second challenge? Limited supply of coking coal. So we need coal in the, what is it, for burning, is it not? For combustion in iron and steel industry. So coking coal availability is limited. What is the next one? Output per labor is also less. So productivity by the labor is also very less, and irregular supply of energy. So energy supply is irregular. So erratic supply of what is that, power supply. So irregular supply of energy, again another important challenge. Raw materials are found only in a certain pockets of India. So the other challenge is raw material availability is only in certain places in India. So this is again another challenge faced by iron and steel industry. The next one, poor infrastructure like transport and communication. So any industry that has to be developed, we need proper transport and communication. So here when you talk about iron and steel industry, poor infrastructure, that is proper transport and communication facilities are not there. So this is again another important challenge of iron and steel industry. So this slide talks about the problems faced by iron and steel industry, challenges faced by the iron and steel industry. So what is the first challenge? I told about the cost of production. Usually the business people, the industrialists, they wanted to keep the cost of production low. At the same time, they wanted to get maximum profit. So here, when you talk about the cost of production, it is high. So first drawback. Second drawback, coking coal availability is limited. We need coke in the form of carbon, is it not? So we need coking coal, that is limited. What is that available in, where is that small quantities? What is the third one? Output per labor is less. So the production, the product produced by the labor is very less, output produced by the labor is very less, and other than that, we are talking about the irregular supply of energy. So irregular supply of energy, one of the important reason. Another challenge is raw material availability for this industry can be seen only in certain regions. We can get the raw materials only in certain regions in India. This is again another important drawback. The next drawback is we need other infrastructures like transport and communication. So transport and communication also very important for the development of industry. So that is also not there. Proper transport and communication facilities are not there for the development of these industries. So all these are the challenges faced by iron and steel industry. The next one, we are going to talk about the why, already I told you, why iron and steel plants are located in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region. What is the speciality? Why most of the iron and steel mills are located in Chota Nagpur Plateau region? There are so many reasons for its location. For the, what is that, location of these iron and steel plants in Chota Nagpur Plateau region. Again, this is a 5-mark question. So they will be asking you, what are the various reasons for the location of iron and steel industry in Chota Nagpur Plateau region? So you have to write the points one by one. 1, 2, 3, like that you have to put the points and you have to write the points clearly. So what is the first point? Good and more raw materials. So what is the first point? Raw material availabilities are greater. So when you talk about the availability of raw materials, good and more raw materials are available. Large quantities of iron and steel is available in peninsular India. So when you talk about the, what is that, location of iron and steel industry in Chota Nagpur Plateau region, what is the first factor? Large quantities of iron ore. So what is the raw material for iron and steel industry? Hematite, magnetite, all these are the, what is that, raw materials which are the iron ores. So iron ore availability is greater in peninsular India. So large quantities of iron and steel is available in peninsular India. So what is the first point? Availability of raw materials in large quantities. So in peninsular India, availability of iron ore and steel is greater. That's why most of the iron and steel plants are located in Chota Nagpur Plateau region and peninsular India. Next, power resources. What is the other point we are going to discuss? Power resources. So we need coal, oil and water power for which is available in peninsular India. So we need coal, coking coal, is it not, in iron and steel industry? Apart from that, we need oil and water also. So all these are available in peninsular India. So what is the first one? Availability of raw material in greater quantity. That is, iron and steel availability are greater in Chota Nagpur Plateau region. What is the second one? Apart from these raw materials, we need coking coal, we need oil and water power. All these are also available in peninsular India. The next one, skilled labor. So any industry requires skilled as well as unskilled laborers. So here, iron and steel industry, we require cheap and skilled laborers. Skilled laborers we need at the same time, what is that? They should be available for cheaper rate. So cheap and skilled laborers are available from the adjoining states of Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. So when you talk about the availability of cheap laborers, laborers are available from the adjoining states of Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. So this is also one of the factor for the location of iron and steel industry in the peninsular India. So what is the first point? large quantities of iron ore availability in peninsular India, iron ore and steel availability. What is the second one? Apart from the raw materials, we need coking coal, oil and water power for iron and steel industry, which is available in peninsular India. The third one, skilled laborers. So skilled laborers are greatly required at cheaper wages. So skilled laborers are available from the adjoining states of West Bengal, Bihar, Orissa and Madhya Pradesh. The last point, nearness to the market. So it provides market facilities. So nearness to the markets, closeness to the markets, that is also one of the important factor for the location of iron and steel industry in peninsular India. Large indigenous markets are available in the peninsular India. Large market facilities are available. The market facilities are closer, the markets are closer to the iron and steel plants. So, the market facilities are larger in peninsular India. Moreover, these markets are very closer to the iron and steel plants. This is also one of the reason for the location of iron and steel industry in Chota Nagpur region. The next one, port facilities. So, we need port facilities. So, availability for the export of iron and steel manufactured goods. So through the seaports we can able to export the iron ore to other countries. That is also one of the important factor. So this slide it has completely talked about the factors that are responsible for the location of iron and steel industry in peninsular India. What is the first factor I told you? Large quantity of iron ore and steel availability in peninsular India. What is the second factor? Apart from the raw material, we need coking coal, oil and water power for the iron and steel industry, which is available in the peninsular India. The third one, I told about the skilled laborers. So skilled laborers are greatly available from the adjoining districts of Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. The next one, market facilities, closeness to the markets. Most of the iron and steel plants are closer to the markets. So in peninsular India, large market facilities are possible. That is also one of the reason for the location of iron and steel industry in peninsular India. The last one, port facilities. So through the seaports, we can able to export the iron ore to other countries also. That is also one of the reason for the location of iron and steel plants in peninsular India. The next one we are going to talk about another important, what is that? Mineral based industry. What is that actually? Aluminium. So this iron and steel as well as aluminium, it is coming under mineral based industry because the raw materials used here are minerals. So in the previous case about iron and steel industry, I told you hematite and magnetite, they are the raw materials. Iron ore, they are the raw materials. Here in case of aluminium, what is the raw material used for aluminium smelting? Bauxite. So bauxite is the raw material used for the aluminium smelting industry. So aluminium smelting is the second most important metallurgical industry in India. So aluminium industry, aluminium smelting is one of the second most important metallurgical industry in India. The first one is iron and steel industry, already I told you. The second place is occupied by aluminium smelting. So aluminium smelting is the second most important metallurgical industry in India. When you talk about the properties of aluminium, it is light, resistant to corrosion and a good conductor of heat. See the properties of this aluminium. So this aluminium is a lightweight metal. It is a light metal. Resistant to corrosion. What is the next one? Good conductor of heat. You can see the electric cables. The electric cables, they are using aluminium wires. Instead of copper wires, they are using aluminium wires now because it has got the high melting point. So we are using aluminium wires in electric cables in the place of copper wires. So it is a lightweight metal, resistant to corrosion and it is a good conductor of what is that, heat, malleable and becomes strong when it is mixed with other metals. What is malleability? It is the property that can be beaten into thin sheets, aluminum sheets, aluminum foils, you would have heard aluminum sheets. So this aluminum can be beaten into sheets, so that is the property called malleability. So what is malleable? Property of beating into sheets. Property of beating into sheets. So that is malleability. So lightweight metal, resistant to corrosion, good conductor of heat, malleable. Moreover, it gets strength when it is mixed with other metals, and it is used to manufacture aircraft, utensils and wires. So aluminum wires we can use in electric cables. It is with the aeroplane parts, aircraft, the parts of the aircraft are made up of aluminum, and other utensils, the utensils that we are using in our day-to-day life in kitchen are made up of aluminum. It has gained popularity as a substitute of steel, copper, zinc and lead. Moreover, this aluminum acts as a substitute for other materials like steel, lead, copper and zinc. So when you talk about this aluminum, it acts as a substitute for other materials like steel, copper, lead and zinc in a number of industries. So aluminum smelting plants, when you see it in the country, they are located in Odisha, West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. So when you talk about the aluminum smelting plants, they are located in the Odisha, West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh and other important states. So up to this I have discussed about the iron and steel industry and aluminum smelting. So I want everybody to go through this. I have discussed 3 marks and 5 marks based on this. So please you go through the lesson once again, you read whatever I taught today. If you like this channel, you please subscribe for this channel. Thank you children.